up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Quran the Sun. Got another official thanks thing going down here. Actually, kind of excited. I always say that, but always excited. Actually, who I got coming on here? Dominique Booker. Probably get my fan on a little bit, though I know she's quite younger than me. Track extraordinaire, like ran through a family, everything here, just accomplishments just all over the place here. Just definitely just, made a lot of people proud. And me being an alumni, as far as where she went to, as far as Montclair Immaculate, I'm definitely one of them. So just looking forward to meeting her, just taking a stroll down memory lane, bringing it to current, and just doing what we do. That's it. So just hold tight. Hello, Dominique. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Well, nice to meet you here. My name's Ibn Webb, and like I said, I know we've been communicating, direct message or Facebook or what have you here. So, but my name's Ibn, and like I said, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you. This is great.
Nah, cool. And I know you 3 hours away too, so I'm a little jealous. You got some daylight, some sun, and probably about the 80s or something today, 90. I don't know. What is it out there?
90, 100, actually 100. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, that's
like,
for the record.
And that's like dry heat too, is it?
Yeah, it's about that time of year when we're reaching 104, the beginning of our summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, some of that you can still have. I'm not that jealous. Some of that you can. Well, like I said, thank you for just taking time out here. Like I said, we was communicating back and forth. This is just something I started, and then I wound up just kept going with it here. And I always tell people, like I said, my wife laughs at me. She's like, you don't even like talking to people. Now you're doing all this stuff here. But it's cool though, because like I said, the sports part of it, you and I are Immaculate alum. I don't know if you kind of did some digging on me, but we're Immaculate alum here. And like I said, so obviously it holds a special place in my heart as far as Immaculate, and then people that have come through there. So and again, like I said, so that's like the common thread here as far as that goes here. But like I said, thank you just for taking time out again.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is I feel like some people forget about me as a New Jersey athlete. So it's kind of, sometimes it's a good little booster when somebody comes through like, hey, I want to talk to you. Like, okay, that's cool. And then to know that you're an alum, I barely meet like Immaculate alum unless I graduated with them.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, yay!
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, obviously I'm a little on the older side, hence the grays in the beard here. So, but so basically laid back. I'm no TMZ kind of thing or nothing like that there. Just kind of laid back, just kind of go back and forth a little bit. So, we could get to it.
Yes, okay.
Cool. So with that being said, there, like where are you actually from? Just originally, like growing up and everything.
I'm from Camden, New Jersey, Pennsauken, Camden area. Okay. That's where my parents raised me, a little town home over there. But that's where I'm originally from. Yes.
Okay. You spent most of your childhood down in Camden area?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. How was it for you growing up?
It was different. Both of my parents were stellar athletes in their respective sports. My mom was a big runner in Massachusetts. She went to college at an early age. She's really great at Boston U. My dad, Martin Booker, everybody knows him. Mm-hmm. So him being who he is at Camden and Villanova, that's kind of, and then him playing for the Eagles, that's kind of like what the lifestyle I came into. Okay. Until they separated. And then it was kind of just like me and my mom. And it was just weird because I was like their only child and just by myself a lot of the time. So it was interesting growing up. I was very independent, very to myself, dealt with some things, but kept a lot of it quiet for a long time. So.
Okay. Now, even with that being said, I could have just asked, was you born with some spikes on your feet at birth here, But anything, I know you got track and everything. Was any other sports too you played or liked or what have you?
Yeah, actually, I ran away from track, no pun intended, for a long time. I didn't want to do it just because I have older adoptive brothers who are my dad's athletes, who all did track. My youngest brother does track. Like, I didn't want to do what everybody else did just to be rebellious. So I did basketball for a very, very, very long time before I decided to give up for track. Like, that was actually my last straw. My coach, she was just like, not last straw, but she was like, you have to give up basketball. If you're going to be great in this sport, you have to give up basketball. Okay. And I was like, what? Like, I was a dancer. Like, it was just, I'd done a lot of things. I tried lacrosse, cheerleading. I hated that. But I tried everything before I just finally gave track my all. Yeah.
Okay. Nah, definitely, man. And I know, obviously, with the parents that you had, and it sounds like, you know, you did your rebellious kind of thing too. But obviously, somehow track and field pulled you back here. Now, how'd you make your way up North Jersey? How'd you make your way up to North Jersey?
So I think it was in 6th grade because I was in intermediate school. My mom, who is actually a minister now, was a part of this church, and she was kind of elevating in the church. And the church was in New York. Okay. But majority of the ministry staff lived in North Jersey. So with just her being with me and her starting a new job at another like mortgage company and stuff like that, it was just a move that she was ready to do after, my parents got divorced, and it was just like, my mom's not from Jersey. So everything in South Jersey was about like the Booker family. Right. And I really believe that she just wanted a fresh start. I was like 12. So it was just like, why not? She's not starting.
Okay. I got you. I started losing when you talked about your mom just wanting a new start. I know she went up to New York, what have you. Then you kind of, when I just asked you kind of what got you up to North Jersey, I know you was talking about, so I lost you kind of for a good, close to a minute there.
Okay. No, I was just saying that she just wanted a different start. And because I was so young still, she could take it with me being not in high school yet or anything like that. So.
Okay. Yeah. And then, so you guys landed where?
We landed in East Orange.
Okay. How was that for you, just uproot and kind of a whole new start? How was that for you?
I was resentful for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, because I felt like I was leaving, like, my dad's family. That's all that lives in Jersey is my dad's family. So I felt like, it was weird. I'm leaving all my cousins, my aunts, like friends that I've made since I've been in grade school with them, and just to start over. And in North Jersey is just really different than South Jersey, if I can say. Like, it's it's more aggressive. It's more like tense. So it's kind of like, I was a very quiet girl. So when I came to North Jersey, I kind of had to get thicker skin and become more like outspoken and really defend myself, because people, they were so ready to take advantage of me, like, easily.
Yeah. No, I can see that, but Camden ain't nothing to sleep on.
It ain't. It's not. I mean, it ain't, but it's not. But it was like, it's something like, when you grow up there, you live there, you're kind of like immersed in the culture. You kind of you don't see the bad that's in it until you step out of it. Also, my dad did a really good job is that he didn't want me to grow up with the same experience that he grew up with in Camden. Okay. So I am from that area, but we stayed mainly in Pennsauken, and he kept me pretty sheltered. My mom did too. So it was like I was immersed into things, but it was never too crazy. Now, little do they know, I got into different things, and I explored.
We kids, of course.
Yeah, but for the most part, I'm grateful that they kept me from a lot of harm. And when I went to North Jersey, it was kind of probably a better bet for me than to stay down in South Jersey, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you get over to East Orange, what have you there. So is that before high school that you're there, or?
Yep, 2 years before high school. I was in 7th grade. I went to Our Lady Help of Christians.
Okay.
My mom said I had too much mouth to go to a public school. Could not go back to a public school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't like that idea, and I think it was out of fear. And honestly, I appreciate it. Now that I look back on it, it was a safety standpoint, and it was I don't think I would have been as successful if I would have went to a public school, just because of how a lot of people don't know. I got in a lot of trouble at Immaculate. Like, people don't know I got in a lot of trouble. Yeah. It was just, I'm sweet, I'm kind, and I paid my, dues, whatever I had to do if I had detention or whatever like that. But it was kind of like, they knew it was deeper than that. They knew it was something that I was going through personally, and not that I was just a destructive kid,
Okay. Now, obviously, Our Lady helped the Christians. Excuse me. Then you obviously high school. How did you make the decision to end up at Immaculate?
So I was at Our Lady Help of Christians, and it was my 8th grade year. They started taking us on like little high school tours, whatever. Okay. And 2 of my very close friends at the time were considering going to Immaculate Conception. I actually was on my way to, what is that all-girls school? I was on my way to all-girls school. Like, that's how my mom was like, no.
Mount St. Dominic's. I don't know if it's Mount St. Dominic's.
It wasn't that. It was like, because it was St. Vincent, and it was a school that started with an M.
Was it Mary Long? Was that still around? That was
Mary Long, yes. That's where I was going to go. Okay. I was literally like signed up and registered to go to Mary Long. Okay. And I just so happened to be at there were twins. They were twin girls. I just so happened to be at their house. And their mom said, we got to go to this high school night. And they went to Immaculate Conception. They were still trying to decide. And I just went. I went with them. And their mom called. My mom was like, Stephanie, just come up. And I fell in love with Immaculate. Okay. And I was like, Mom, I really didn't want to go to all-girls school. But it was just like, my mom was like, no, you're going. Like, I was like, no. Yeah. So Immaculate came around. And I was like, thank God. Go in there. Yeah, that was a lifesaver. Okay. Ooh. Yeah.
So you get over there, and obviously, even doing all this time too, you're still doing track, you're playing sports, what have you. So what happens when you arrive there as far as with the whole track scene? Because, I don't know if you knew the history of Immaculate. Obviously, track-wise, for being a little parochial school, they produced some people and also, were very good in track as well, too. So how did all that just kind of connect?
I didn't even pay attention to the track program, honestly.
Okay.
When I first went to Immaculate, I tried the cross country thing just because, like I said, me and my twin friends, we're just trying to do anything to fit in. Yeah. We're high schoolers, trying to do something, establish ourselves, especially me, because I'm like, I'm this South chick, like I'm from South, and you can tell, and like just trying to do something to fit in. And honestly, the first thing, I tried cross country. I said, I'm not running that far. I don't do that. A lot of people don't know when I started out track, I was actually really pudgy. So I was like, I think I was like 5'2". I'm only 5'5" now, so I didn't grow that much. But I was like 5'2". And back then, being 150 and 5'2" is really heavy. Okay. Especially being that short and compact. So I was like, I'm not doing running. No, I'm still not doing track. Mm-hmm. We did basketball in 8th grade. In 7th grade. So I was like, I'm a baller, like baller. Couldn't tell me nothing. I was going to school to ball. Loving basketball was my favorite movie. Baller. Okay. Mm-hmm. No, absolutely not. Didn't even I did that, and I did dance, and I will never forget he was my history teacher and my basketball coach, little white guy named Mr. L. Okay. Love him. I swear he was a white guy with a black soul. That's what I told anybody. Like, got you. He was invited to the cookout, right? So he, after basketball practice one time, Coach Hanifa, still one of the best high school coaches to me ever, she was, I guess they were having indoor season or something like that. So she was like walking in the gym, watching our basketball practice, right? Okay. And he was like, Coach Hanifa, hold on, I got a girl for you. And everybody kept saying, Dominique, you're quick on the court. You need to do track. And I was like, I'm not doing track. Like, no. Mm-hmm. And he made me stay after practice and do suicides to prove to her how quick I was.
Really? Yeah.
And anybody knows doing suicides after having a full basketball practice where you already did suicides, killer. Mind you, 150. Well, no, I think by that time I was like 165, 170, 5'2".
Okay.
Tired, okay? Like tired, little chunky thing. And I have asthma. Like, no, it was not fun. But she watched me and she was like, all right, she a little quick or whatever. Like, she a little quick. So I came out and I was just like, this track thing is stupid, but I'm going to do it, whatever. I kind of gave it a little bit effort, but it was my first dual meet. We went to one of them schools that was out there. I feel like MKA or something like that. We went somewhere and it was snowing because, you know, Jersey in April, cute. Right. And I ran in that cold weather and ran, I think, like 12-2.
Okay.
And my coach was just like, what? And I was like, I don't know. From there, it was like, oh, that's your thing.
And she probably did. She probably did a little homework, I'm sure.
Yeah, she knew by the time I came out for track season, like I said, when I met her, it was indoor season. I still was debating if I was going to do outdoor. And by the time I came around to meet her, she knew a little something. She did her research, but like she kind of didn't let off because my thing was I was never going to say, oh, my mom is. I wanted to always get away from who they were. So that's what I respected about her. She didn't bring it up. She never like said, well, you know, your family. She just let me develop into my own person. And in that moment, she said her light bulb went off and was like, oh, snap, I found a golden ticket. Like, you know, she's one of those athletes that you only come around like once in a lifetime. And it was in that moment, I was just like, why was I running away from this for so long? Like, what? Like type of thing. So it was a weird start. It was a weird start.
That was your freshman year, or that happened?
That was all my freshman year.
Okay, so you run this race. You run this race in April, snow in Jersey here. So what happens after that? Like you just took off as far as just like this is what I want to do for yourself, or
it was. You know, I always tell people it was never for myself in high school. Okay. It was a pride thing, just because I wanted to show that if I'm going to do the sport that my family is known for, I'm going to be the best at it. Nobody else is going to be able to touch me because I am the only girl that holds the Booker name. I really take it very seriously. And I was just like, you know, you're never going to be able to compare me to my brothers. You're never going to be able to compare me to my dad or my mom. I'm going to be the best that does it, hands down. So a lot of the time in high school, realistically, it was to get out of where I was. I really wanted to leave Jersey. I love Jersey. It's always home, but I just knew that it wasn't where I was supposed to be. Okay. So I kind of just used it to get me places. And honestly, at that time, you know, they didn't really talk about mental health back then, but I was going through a lot of things internally, deaths that I lost, and just like the fact of, you know, divorced parents is not a great feeling for a kid, you know? Yeah. So I went through a lot of emotions in high school, and the best way for me to channel it and get it out and like really heal myself was to do track. So that's why I kind of say it wasn't for me. It was an outlet to save me. Okay.
Yeah, and sports is like that. Even sometimes, even looking back, I mean, that definitely plays a part as far as it's a nice escape. It saves people, as you just mentioned, and you know, obviously, just helps us heal in some kind of unique kind of way as far as playing sports and participating in them. Now, I know in regards to obviously that meet and everything else here, so you just start training and everything and getting involved in like off-season stuff like AAU track teams, you start doing all that stuff start just coming into play once you just realize, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Yeah,
after that first year, it took, because I think I finished that year, because you know me and English Gardner are the same year, so we both finished as top freshmen at the Meet of Champions that year, in the final of the 100 and the 200, and like I said, we have similar stories, but she grew up a track person. I didn't. Okay. So after that, my coach and I sat down and was just like, she was like, I don't think you realize how much talent you have. And me, I'm like, no, like I'm this short, little, stocky, fat girl who like goes to a parochial school. Like I don't take it seriously. And it wasn't until she was like, no, you can go places. Like it opened my eyes and was like, wow. So then it was I made the dedication to training in the fall. I mean, in the summer, in the fall, I tried the whole AAU thing. I didn't really like it.
Okay.
Like, I was like, the age group thing. It was like, the meets were too long. And I was like, I'm not that much of a trackie to care this much. Like,
I hear you.
But ever since that meet and initially after the first season with her, because a lot of people don't know, I was captain my first year.
Mm-hmm.
As a freshman. So it was really the bond with my coach and trusting her and listening to her plan for what like I could possibly be that really like took me off. Like I think that summer I ended up competing for the city of Orange at Walt Disney World with like other teams from other like cities in other states.
Okay.
And it was just a great experience. I was like, oh, so this is what track can bring you. You can travel. You can meet other people. And so that drew me in. And then after that, I kind of hit the ground running from there. Because my sophomore year was my best year. That one of my best. One of my best years for real. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and to your point here, like I said, it just start taking you places, and it's like it's a whole new world outside of New Jersey and outside of 33 Cottage Place, you know.
Yeah,
it's definitely a whole big world here. So you get going, you explode. I mean, obviously, people such as myself and everybody else is like, you know, like, okay, this is somebody, we got somebody, another person special coming through the hallways there. Just how was life for you? I mean, again, obviously being the really, really big fish over there. How was it again, as far as just, were you still just a regular student and everything else as you started to travel and notoriety? How did that work for you? You mentioned as far as this kind of helped you mental health wise, and how all this just come together. I mean, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, it was, at first it was very uncomfortable because at that time I wasn't, and I'm still not, I'm not a person that really likes to be in the front. Just over insecurities, overthinking. At the time, I didn't know that back then I was dealing with bipolar depression back then. I didn't know. It wasn't until like my recent adult years that I started, okay, there's a name to this. But back then, it's funny because at Immaculate, I was still known as that bad kid. Getting in trouble, arguing with teachers, but I was just a good athlete. And I think, I'm grateful, but I think that's what saved me some of the times is because I was a great athlete. Okay. And then, it was just like, it started becoming people wanting to come to Immaculate because I'm there and be on the track team is weird. And I think back at it now, I kind of laugh a little bit because the image that the state of Jersey had of me was just like clean cut, like nice little Immaculate girl, but Immaculate was like, no, this girl has a vicious mouth. Like I said, it was just anger. And I didn't know, at 15, 16, how to deal with life, and deal with that type of notoriety and like those type of interviews. Like it was weird. Like I would have people calling the house, like trying to talk and like trying to offer me things. And it was like, I just want to eat. Like, I don't understand all this stuff. And then with my own personal issues, it was a lot of people really, and then so because you went to Immaculate, the whole tuition thing. If you don't have your money, they send you home. Like,
I spoke with, interesting you say that. I spoke with somebody from Immaculate not too long ago. I mean, I just remember those situations, even myself here. It might have changed when you were there, but we didn't have the money. Each month we got brought down to the balcony and they will call you out. I don't know if that was the same while you was there, but if that happened today, I think you and I both would probably, it'd be Dominique and Ibn Immaculate because you just can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that now. You can't do that now. But back then, you'd be pulled down to the balcony, like, you don't got your money. Like, they're putting on you to get back to the parents. Yeah.
Right. And you talking about back when I was in high school, I started 2006. So by the time 2008 hit, when the recession hit, I'm like, they're like, Dominique, I'm so sorry. I know you got a meet coming up this week, but you can't be here. And I'm like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? So it's the stress of that, seeing my mother struggle as a single mother, trying to find another job, you know, just being a teenage girl. I wasn't really like, I was a tomboy. So I wasn't really like into the guys. I wasn't the prissy one. And because I was very muscular, like I don't have, look how I did that. So like back then it was like, it was more of a struggle to figure out who I was, what I am, like, where do I feel comfortable as myself, you know, dealing with family issues, just everything. And I was just so angry. I almost quit track actually at one point. Nobody knew. It was quiet as kept, but it got to a point where I just got so angry. And it was to the point like I had, you know, pushed my mom to the edge of the I pushed my mom so far that she didn't even want me in the house. Like it was that I was that angry of a girl and I was that furious and, you know, it translated good onto the track. Everybody's like, oh, Dominique's a fierce competitor. You know, everybody would always say like, she's quiet, she gets in, she's focused, but it was just like, 'cause I had so much anger to release. That's the only time I could let it go instead of punching somebody or punching a wall, or I was a cutter back then. So instead of cutting myself, it was give it all to the track. That's all you had. So it was like all this anger built up inside of me, and I almost gave up on track. I almost gave up on life in general. It wasn't for my mom walking in, but it's just like it like I said, it saved my life because it was like if you don't, it got so dark that it was just like you might not love you, but other people love you. Whether it's just because of what your feet can do, people love you. And it was just the love of fans and the support of my mom and my family that kept me going. And it was just like, you know, it wasn't just a thing. It wasn't just an activity I did. It became my purpose at that point in my life was to rap.
Yeah.
It paid off. It paid off in a big way.
Totally. And I appreciate your honesty here. I know things probably even got a little more hectic from you. I recall, you know, you being in Sports Illustrated.
Yes. Yeah.
Not everybody in the world gets that opportunity. So I can only imagine when that came out as well, too.
Yeah, that was, I forgot about that era. Yeah, that was different. That's when I started getting on the national level, from going to all the nationals, the indoor and outdoor nationals, when they used to be like Boston and things like that. I think my first time out the gate, I think my sophomore year indoor, I placed second.
Okay.
Yeah, I placed second. First time ever running indoor. And then outdoor season, you know, I didn't always do the best because I didn't believe I was an outdoor runner, but it was like when I started to become nationally known and then started getting asked to compete internationally, it was a whole different realm. That was like my sophomore, junior year. And then it was just like a whole new ball game because it was just like, now you have people calling saying, hey, we want you to come run at our school. And it's like, I can go to school for this? Like, okay, cool. That's weird, but okay, let's do it. Like, yeah, it was Sports Illustrated. It was intense, but it's an experience that I can say I've had, and man, it's so cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then obviously, you know, just throughout your years, and then obviously, eventually you got to graduate. When you talk about the schools, like, how was that whole recruiting process? What did you want to do? Or was it just, how did you do it?
It was overwhelming.
Okay.
Like, and I say this as humbly as I am, because I am a real humble person. Just imagine almost every school, big or small, D2, D3, JUCOs, calling D1, calling for you.
Yeah.
Like, calling my mom, calling my coach, calling my father. I didn't even know people were calling my father concerning my track career.
Okay.
So, you know, because my dad tried to really separate himself from my track career just because, like, for me to become my own person. Right. So just almost every school calling, sending letters. I think I stopped counting, honestly, at about 100. And it was overwhelming because I struggled with self-esteem. So it was like, they can't all be trying to ask about me, all want me. Like, what's the possibility? Like, I'm still not that tall. I still look like somebody shot putter. Like, what is the appeal for me based off of this one time I ran? And it was beautiful, but I really started narrowing down places like after like vetting through all the calls, I started listening to people's tone, how they were approaching me. I'm really big on tone, and I have a very keen ear for people's voice modulation. So I paid attention to that to see if they were lying and seeing if they were trying to just give me bull. Like, you know, I'm trying to just throw anything my way. And I always prided myself on being an athlete of integrity. So anytime somebody said anything that was a little bit off kiltering to me or made me feel uncomfortable, I was like, okay, I can't continue that conversation, because that's just a pure athlete that I was. Like, you're not going to, anything shady, I don't want to be a part of. If I associate myself with something, it has to be of a good caliber and meet my moral standards. So I kind of broke it down like that. And I broke it down to 5 visits. But I knew my dream school was Florida, University of Florida, because my dad has filtered a lot of his athletes through there. I love the program. It was Florida. You know, Coach Mouse is an excellent coach. And just because based off, I knew the relationship he had with my father. Back then, I was also cool with Joshua Evans. Me and him were like very tight. So I knew if I wanted to go to a school and somebody would be there, Josh would be there. And like he would make sure I was okay, you know. But it was there. I had liked Carol at UCF, which where I actually ended up going. But I liked Coach Carol. She was very approachable. She was great. She was real. So I loved that. Her little attitude was cute to me. She went out of her way to approach me on many occasions, like even showing up at a meet, flying in just to turn around on a return flight. Like, she really went overboard, and I loved it. But unfortunately, I just, you know, kind of became lackadaisical on it. And I just set my first visit because I said, I like Carol, I like UCF, I'm gonna go. Well, unfortunately, after I took that visit, even though it was a beautiful visit, and I was like, that's the only school I'm gonna go to. I love the campus. I'm not gonna go anywhere else. My mom was like, you have to use your other 4 visits. Like, this is a big decision. You can't just like one and done. Unfortunately, I got mono. So that kind of shut everything down as far as people started retracting back from me, because it's like, ooh, she got mono. We don't know if she's going to recover from this. She might not have an indoor season. If she can't produce that time again, we ain't trying to give her no money for real. Carol stuck beside me the whole time. The entire time. Like, from the moment I was diagnosed to the moment I was in recovery to the moment that I was trying to get back to running. And I just, you know, you can't go from 170 pounds to 127 pounds and be okay. You know what I'm saying? She helped me get recovered. She helped me take the right supplements. She really held me down. And that's eventually what led me to be like, UCF, nothing else. Like,
So you get down there, and obviously a school you probably graduated probably no more than 70 people, if that. And you go down to Tampa. It's Tampa. It was in Tampa, I believe, right? Or Orlando. Was it Orlando? Orlando, excuse me. Orlando. So you get down there to UCF. This how was it, just being on campus, just the whole thing, socially, athletic, how was it?
Culture shock. Culture shock. I never been around that many people that did not look like me. So that was very different. The idea, I kept saying, like, is it for real? Like, for real, we don't have to check in with our parents. We can just do whatever we want. Like, I can stay out as long as I want because I can't. Like, you know, those type of things. It was just different. It was very different. And Florida was hot and humid. I wasn't used to the sun. Palm trees. Seeing palm trees was like, wow, just crazy. And I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm here. And it was just an amazing experience. And at the same time, I struggled again, because here you are taking me away from this urban setting and putting me in this suburbia, and I don't know how to play nice with others. Because, you know, I have a chip on my shoulder. Because if you think all through high school, I tried to prove to everybody I'm great. Like, I don't care what you guys say about me. My body might not be the right size for a sprinter, but I'm great.
Yeah.
Look at me. I went to college with the same type of chip because I had mono. Everybody had kind of given up on me. A lot of the schools took their offers away from me because of it. You know, that's a slap in the face, like, you know? And I kind of felt like some people said I would never be the same again. I could only be recruited as a head. I was never going to be So I went to UCF with a chip on my shoulder, which helped in competition. But when as far as like gelling with teammates at first, it was because UCF had an all-girls team. Man, that was an experience, you know, just like being who I am from Jersey, rough and tough. And then, you know, I got these girls from everywhere. California was my roommate, and she was so nice, and I was so mean to her. We're best friends now. Like, we've been best friends for like 10 years, but it's like, it was that first initial, like, I didn't know how to deal with this good thing that was happening with me. I still thought like I had to like I was in Jersey, like I was on the East Coast. I had to defend myself, like, And it was like, relax, like enjoy this experience that you have. And that kind of came a little bit later. And that's when my freshman year, I just started hitting the ground running.
Okay.
Killing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get there, like you said, you're killing, you're doing your thing here. Then I know you eventually you make a change. Well, what brought that about?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, you know, I gotta take the glass off.
I see you took that. Yeah, I beat that.
I got caught up my freshman year. Because, you know, being great high school level, that's nice. Being considered one of the greatest on the NC level as a freshman is a lot of notoriety. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're at that level that you can compete against those who do this professionally. And if you're beating or getting second to or getting out the blocks with Veronica Campbell, and everybody's like, oh, you have one of the best starts in the NCAA. It goes to your head a little bit, you know? And I got caught up in the things that come with the notoriety and kind of like started feeling a little bit insecure myself. I got into a relationship and we were both track athletes, and he was injured in his freshman year and I was healthy. So I'm soaring and he's kind of like not doing that well. He did really good in high school, but like in college, he wasn't doing that well. And I could see us as the more we started to become together, my best friend would call it, I became a cloud. I kind of became more laxed. I started wanting to be more supportive of him. You know, I have a really big heart. Everybody knows that about me. I have a very huge heart, and I'll give anybody like any of me. Like, I'll just give you all of me. And as I started to give myself, he started to get better and start to rise. And I just became complacent being beside him. And I started really feeling insecure because then you have Octavius Freeman coming to the school. You know, I'm a sophomore. Yeah, I'm Carol's favorite, but like, here's another sprinter who opposes a challenge. You know, I was on the team with Ariel Scott. That's my homegirl still to this day, but like, she's also my competitor as well as my teammate. You know, I kind of just felt like I was getting lost in the sauce, angry, upset. It was, I'm trying to remember the year. I think it was like 2012. Indoor season. We just got from Tyson Invitational, and I always remember that birthday, that meet, because it's my birthday meet, I say, because my birthday is exactly on that day. I just turned 21, and me and the guy were broken up by now. This had been years. We've been dating since freshman year in college. This is like junior year. Yeah, it's junior year. Yeah, 21. Junior year, we broken up. Nobody knew though. I wanted him to come to my room. It's my birthday. Like, want to spend time with him. He kept saying, no, let's go to my hotel. I'm like, no, come to my hotel, whatever. And the hotel tried to charge Carol, Coach Carol. They tried to charge her for an extra person. And she was like, what are you talking about? There was no extra person. So apparently they showed her a video and of like him entering and could like see in the hallway.
Okay.
And she already didn't like him. She never liked him from the beginning we started dating because she could see as a woman, I was letting myself get in the way of my own talent. She hated it. But like, you can't tell somebody something 19, 20 years old. You can't tell them. They got to see for themselves type thing. And the next day we got back at practice, we were doing a shakeout or something. And she tried to call me out in front of the whole team, like in the middle of the field. And I just wasn't having it. Like, I didn't like that. Like, don't embarrass me. Never try to embarrass me. Mm-hmm. Like, pull me to the side, okay, but don't embarrass me. And she tried to do that in the middle of the field. So that old attitude, that old anger started to come up. And I went off on her right there in the middle of the field. And we're going back and forth with each other. And she was like, I don't got to do this with you. You know what? You're off the team. I didn't care. I was running around. I went to the room, punching walls, going crazy, angry. And, it was more that I was angry at myself than anything else. And she went to just try to scare me with it. It wasn't really like she was really kicking me off the team, but she kind of made it seem like she did. And I had gotten in trouble a couple of months before with the school. Because it was a comment I made. At college, you can't really say nothing like blowing stuff up or nothing like that, even if you're joking. I had made a mistake and made a joke about that. And one of my teachers heard and reported me to like the dean, all the stuff like that. So I had gotten in huge trouble just a couple of months previously for that. And, I had to do some community service, but like I got to stay. They didn't expel me or anything like that. So by the time the athletic department saw that Carol had said like Dominique's off the team, they said, we're not taking any more chances with her. We're not. She's already got in major trouble once. This is not a good look for us. And they pushed it through.
Business of this.
The business of it. The business of they pushed it through. Carol was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. I was mad at first, but I was heartbroken to find out that she never wanted that to happen for me. Mm-hmm. She just wanted me to learn a lesson. Yeah. She was always like a mama to me. So that's what happened. A lot of people don't know the actual story. So it's finally good to like get it out there. Like, this is what happened. That is why I had to transfer. Carol was an angel. She was pleasant the whole time. Most coaches will hold your stuff and I let you go. No, she helped me get recruited. She reached out to coaches for me. Okay. And she shopped me to other schools and she encouraged me every step of the way. Still to this day, we still have a relationship. I can call her and say, hey, Coach Carol, we talk and, but she was nothing but graces. And I really didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave UCF. Everybody knew that. I wanted to stay at UCF. I was like, I'm going to quit track, like all the stuff like that. But nobody would let me. So I headed to Kentucky. Yeah.
So you get over to Lexington, and I'm sure it was another culture shock.
Yeah, so Kentucky was different. It was kind of like Jersey again because it was back to the cold, so whatever. But Kentucky was different just because it was Kentucky. Like, it was like I dreamed about being in the SEC. And it was just like, to be in the SEC, all those athletes, basketball-wise, football-wise. Yeah. I went to school with Devin Booker and Bud Dupree. I went to school with so many with Julius Randle. Like, it's Julius so many Randle, of them. Off the rip. Like, I went to school with them and like we were cool. Like, hey, what's up, homie? Like, we're cool people. Like, it was strange. That was a whole different type of celebrity that I was not ready for. But I welcomed it. And because I was older this time, I was like 22 at that time, I kind of was more mature in how to handle being great. And being a part of such a great establishment. But I mean, like, the story of my life, I ran into some troubles again because I got depressed. Didn't really understand what was going on with me. I just turned 21, so I started drinking really bad. Mm-hmm. And I struggled for that a little bit. First it was wine, and then it turned into like me just drinking like just hard liquor just to like kind of cope and get through everything.
Okay.
And then my first year, Kentucky, what they don't tell you is to be in the SEC at first, you had to have eligibility. And I had only had one more year because I got kicked off when I was a junior. So I only had my senior year left. So they were like, since you sat out your junior year outdoor, you have to sit out your indoor year of your first senior year, whatever. So it was like all that time training at a new school and you can't even unleash indoor. And I'm like, I'm an East Coast kid. You can't tell an East Coast kid they can't run indoor. Like, what? Tell me I can't run outdoor, but not indoor. Like, don't do that. And it got really depressing to the point that I had an emotional breakdown at practice because I got left because, everybody's competing. I'm not competing. Mm-hmm. Very, very horrible breakdown. I started to acknowledge that I had a drinking problem. I met with a psychiatrist and ran some tests, talked to me and was like, hey, do you know that you are bipolar? And I said, oh, no, I'm not. Like, no, it can't be. Started explaining more to me. And I was like, wow, makes sense now. Okay. And then, the medication came.
Okay.
And I talk about this stuff freely because this is kind of what I do now as my work. But it's like medication didn't help. It zombies you out. So
yeah.
It was tough. It was tough that first year. It was really tough. I had ups and downs. I never really recovered. In those 2 years at Kentucky, I'm grateful, but I never really recovered track-wise. I just maintained enough to be good still.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like, again, with a lot going on, and you talk about medications, and everyone takes that differently, the side effects and, everything else that comes with it. So even with that being said, obviously, you sound like you just maintained enough to compete well and finish up school there. So any aspirations, even did your aspirations decline as far as where you wanted to go with track once you got there? I know you got Olympics, you got all this other stuff I'm sure people were putting in your ear early on, and like all that stuff just kind of just faded away for you, or?
It didn't fade at Kentucky. It kind of I don't know. I call the Kentucky part of my life being on autopilot.
Okay.
Running wise, track wise. Like, I had a great experience, but it was like I was so stagnant. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know why. I couldn't recognize it at the time. I was literally just going through the motions. I just knew once I graduated, I was like, I'm not ready to work yet. Mm-hmm. And I think if I really give this track thing a little bit more, I can finally be my own person, or maybe I can personally just like it for myself rather for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what led me over here to Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of just another restart, so to say.
So you get out. What's in Arizona when you initially in school?
I came out here first to be a part of Altus, which was a training program.
Okay.
And it was a training program, and I got to they sold me this great dream of how you're basically going to be taken care of. You're going to get notoriety. You're going to be put out here on this pedestal. Like, we're going to help you build your career.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. But it actually being very different. It was once again a business, so that's how they operated. And I have no regrets now about joining Altus because it got me out here. Okay. And I love it out here. It's amazing. Yeah.
No, Arizona I hear is a great place. So even as that starts to dwindle, I know you wanted a career, you wanted to ultimately teach, I think, right? So is that start making that transition while out there? It sounds like.
Yeah, I did the pro thing out here. Cute.
Yeah.
But I just realized it was me leaving UCF changed me.
Okay.
As an athlete.
Okay.
I never kind of really found my rhythm again. And the older I got, the more I just got self-conscious of that I was getting older and the sport was getting younger. you know? And it's crazy to say, you're like, Dominique, girl, you were like in your 20s. But, you know, when you got like 16-year-olds running the same time as you as a 25-year-old, it's kind of like, I look like the old lady out there with, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows like the short sprinter lifespan for a female is short, usually. Like you got it till good, like till you're like 35 if you don't have any kids. Having kids kind of gives you an extra boost. So I just got to the point where I was just like, you know, I'm getting older. I'm not really progressing as much as I would like to. I just got so insecure about my own abilities. And that's why I said it changed. I changed as an athlete because I just started to become so self-conscious. I stopped really being a competitor as much as I used to be in high school. Like I was like not vicious, but I was vicious. I came on a mission. I would run good at practice, run like 10 something at practice and then get to a meet and be scared. And like, why? Girl, you got it. So after a while, after 3 years, I retired. Silently too. I didn't make any big, you know, post about it. I didn't really tell a lot of people. I just stopped. Stopped running. Okay. And I told myself, like, you know what? You're getting into debt. I probably was on the cusp of probably going to get I'm about to say a scholarship, Lord, but to get a deal. But I was just, I wasn't in it anymore. It started to feel more like a chore than fun.
Yeah, then you know it's time to do something, change or make some adjustments. Yeah. Yeah,
and I met Dwayne Evans. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Dwayne Evans out here in Arizona is a legend. Just nationally, he's a legend. He was the youngest man to go to the Olympics. Mm-hmm. For the U.S. He was 18 at the time, and he has a bronze medal. Yes, that's right. Yes. Does he have bronze? I think he has a bronze medal. Yes. Don't get mad at me if you see this, Dad, but I think he got a bronze medal. And he told me, he's like, Dominique, you know you're done when you just don't feel it anymore. Yeah. He was like, that's the time to walk away. You don't wait until you start to deteriorate and you start to lower in your abilities and you start to make yourself look like that old person on the track. You leave gracefully. You leave when you know it's time to leave. And I had kind of like gone under his wing after a minute, and he came like a mentor to me, and I took that to heart. And I just knew it was my time. And I just and I was tired of working like the little rinky-dink jobs, trying to piece under like, you know, little pieces of money here and there together. Yeah. Because I could only work gym jobs. And I can even tell them like, hey, I can't really work all the time because I have to go to meets. I have to go to practice. Like I had no car out here. So I was getting up at 4 a.m. to take a bus to get to practice by 6 a.m., practicing, hopping on another bus, get out to practice at like 12, trying to get to work by 12:30, which was 30 minutes away on a bus, working I think at this time I was like I was like a physics tech or something like that. PT tech. I was a PT tech. I was a physical therapist technician. And I would work there from like 1 to 10:30. Get on the bus, 2 buses to go home, get home by midnight. Yeah. Do it all over again. And I was tired. My best friend told me, she was like, I'm tired of you being in your 20s and not enjoying life. I was like 25, 26 at the time. And I was like, makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. I'm not living anymore. And track is not providing me what it used to anymore. So it's time to retire. So I retired. I worked at a daycare, found out I was really good at teaching. Pre-Kers, love my babies. And then, you know, after a year of that, I was like, wait, I don't want to get paid daycare prices though. Like,
That's right.
I'm going to do this. I need to go to school. So my mentor, Coach Evans, was already a coach at Southbound High School out here. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, just take the job. It's doing in-school suspension. I was like, what? I used to be in in-school suspension. Like, what? That's weird. But I was like, he's like, but if anybody can relate, you can. I was like, yeah. You're right. And, you know, Southbound High School is an inner city school, a lot of Black and brown babies. And I went there, got the job, been there three years since. Now I'm moving up as a prevention and intervention specialist for the students. Okay. So now I'm like elevated up pretty far up the pay scale and everything like that. So yeah, I'm still educating and teaching. I'm a coach now. Oh, that's different. Yeah. a high school coach. Like I've been coaching for 9 years, just, you know, with different programs I've been coaching, but to be a high school coach, this will probably be I've been coaching for 5 years being out here, but this will be my 3rd year at school consistently. And it's like 4th year, going into my 4th year, and being an assistant coach and trying to get athletes to not be mental cases like you were, and like try to like get them where you need to be. And I still get to like, coach, we Googled you. We know how you like, shut up. Like, look at me. Yeah. Like, it's a great experience. But like, I literally fell into where I needed to be. I needed to be at South. I needed to be in Arizona. I needed to look at other kids who felt how I felt, but I couldn't express it. And I provide that space for them now. Also teaching them how to be just better human beings and not having to accept what society said about them because it doesn't matter. So it's worked out. But yeah, I get to teach now, and it's everything.
No, that's good stuff, man. I know usually as we transition through life and the roles become role reversal, it kind of switches up a little bit. Now, even with sports here, what is this giving you that stuck with you to this day?
I'm sorry.
No problem. What is sports giving you that stuck with you to this day?
Sports is giving me discipline, honestly. You know, this is the first time I've even spoken out about me having an alcohol problem. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's as south as it really went.
Yeah.
You know, track really just gave me, sport in general just gave me a home. You know, it provided safety for me. And not to say my home wasn't safe. Not to say that my parents didn't do a great job raising me. My mom was an excellent, excellent definition of a single mother, like beautifully. She did an amazing job. But there was something she couldn't prevent me from. And I had my innocence stolen from me at a very young age. From the aspect of my parents being divorced, from the aspect of I was molested at a very young age. I had stuff taken away from me, you know, and I didn't feel comfortable with myself or in my skin or anywhere around people. Yeah. And sports gave me a community in which I felt my awkward, tomboyish self could fit in with no judgment. I could come, show up as myself authentically, and I'm accepted because I have this talent that I'm blessed with. So sport has really provided me safety.
Yeah, no, basically, I know you're just saying as far as obviously not only safety, but again, as far as what sports is giving you, you were just sharing just your point of view on that.
Yeah. Like it just gave me a community, allowed me to be safe, and just gave me space to be who I am, discover who I am, and be comfortable with who I am. Like, yeah, it provided all that.
Nah, good stuff here. Good stuff. I wanted to just take a couple of more minutes of your time. And one, even up to this point, just thank you. Just your honesty, just your brutal honesty, just about everything, even about yourself and what you've been through. It's appreciated. So I wonder if you had a few more minutes for me.
Yeah.
Cool. I like to put people a little bit on the spot in the fun way with the next line of questions.
Okay.
I gotta put your Jersey hat on for. So when you in Jersey, would you take the Parkway or the Turnpike?
The Parkway.
Parkway, okay, cool. What's when you back in Jersey, East Orange, Montclair, wherever the case may be here, your favorite spot to eat at?
Oh, Sandwiches Unlimited. It don't get no better.
Don't even go there with me. Yeah, what you getting?
I'm always getting a hot pastrami salad. Like, so good.
Okay. Oh, so no Italian cheeseburger, no Italian hot dog.
I love me a good Italian cheeseburger, but I try to stay away from it because, oh God, I can't eat just one. I have to have two.
I'm bad too.
Still a big girl.
Yeah, I'm bad. I get the whole joint. I don't even play around no halves. I get the whole. Yeah, so no.
Right.
Absolutely. So Immaculate or UCF?
Oh man, oh, it's tough. It's not UCF. I love Immaculate, but UCF was some fun time.
Cool. Nah, the 100 or 200?
200 still is my favorite.
200, okay. What's if you best race you ever ran in your life?
Whew, okay. You making me think now. Dang. All right. Snap. Okay, I think the race was good just because of the competition that I was among. I raced against it was like Lauren Williams and Veronica Campbell.
Okay.
It was in Arkansas. I can't remember I want to say it was like my sophomore year. It might have been my freshman year. It was I obviously didn't win, but I got like fourth or something like that, and like fourth or fifth. And it was just amazing just because it was just like, here I am running with people that I saw on TV, and I am right next to them. Like, that's right, and they're talking to me, talking about I'm a good competitor. So like, what? Like, yeah, that was probably one of the best races I've had.
Favorite place to run?
The Armory. Like, what? I love the Armory.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your toughest opponent?
My toughest opponent, I know a lot of people would say, go say English Gardner. She wasn't my toughest opponent. My toughest opponent, as cliche as it sounds, really was myself.
Okay.
That was my toughest opponent.
Nah, that's real though. That's real. What was best athlete you ever saw?
Justin Gatlin.
Justin Gatlin, okay.
He became my mentor. Like, we share the same birthday and everything. We're 10 years apart. So if I'm 29, he's 39. Yeah. Oh my God. The man's story alone. And then see how hard he works, see how great of a father he is. Great, amazing athlete. It's between him and Mo Green, because Mo Green trained me.
Okay.
Maurice Green is bomb. So it's like, it's between those two. Yeah.
No, all good. But who's someone who should have made it? However you want to define made it.
Somebody should have made it?
Yeah, however you want to define made it.
Somebody that should have made it. My girl, Ariel Scott.
Okay.
She should have made it. And I believe she's still training, I think. Yeah, she's still training. And I believe that she still has the possibility to get back where she was. Training with her was, oh man, a stellar experience. She's an amazing training partner and just a great athlete. I just think, how they don't really prepare us to be famous. And
yeah, there's no class for that. Yeah.
That kind of got the best of her when she went pro. So yeah. Yeah.
What does Hanifa Norman mean to you?
Oh, everything. You're about to make me cry. Oh my God, yeah. I'm about to cry. Hanifa Norman is everything. Like, she was like the only person who knew who I was and recognized that I wasn't really okay, but she accepted me. She was the first person I was able to be really honest about a lot of things I was going through. And man, she was way more than my coach. She was really like my older sister. She was really like my big sister. Like, still to this day, I don't think she understands how grateful I am to her. I still end up like a little kid around her. Like, Hanifa's my girl.
That's
my girl.
Nah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. What are you most proud of?
You just got the tears flowing off.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm just really proud of how far I've come. Like, I never would have thought, like, if you would have told me back in the day, like, I would have accomplished so much in such a, like, I ran track for 11 years. You think I have accomplished so much on every level of track. I have gone to the high, you know, with the exception of going to like the Olympics or Olympic trials. But like, I'm so proud of who I am, who I've become. I never would have imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never, sometimes it still feels like it's not real, but it's like, it is. Moments like this bring it back to reality. Like, you really lived this life. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I know. What's the best part about being Dominique Booker?
Oh, the best part about being Dominique Booker is that I get to really be a blessing to others by just doing nothing. I tend to be the listening ear for everybody, the pillar, you know. I think that's the greatest part of me is that I have a huge heart. And I see the greatness in everyone, even if they don't see it in themselves.
Yeah.
I do that. So I think that's the greatest part of being me is that my heart is big. My love is overrunning and like, it's just who I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What advice would this Dominique give that senior year Dominique in high school? What advice would you give her?
I could give her some advice. I would say, stop trying to prove who you are to everybody and just be who you know you are. Doesn't matter what people have to say about you. Doesn't matter people's opinions and where people say you don't belong. You've been told you don't belong your whole life. You are an amazing girl, female lady, and you will go on to do amazing things as long as you stay focused on you.
Absolutely. And this one here, I have two more. One is more of a selfish question for me. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I always tell her when I'm going to interview, especially a female, what have you here. Any advice for young girls or just women in general here?
Yeah. As females, we're always put into a box, whether we're an athlete or not. And it doesn't change in track. We're told that our body's not fit for this. We can't do that. Know yourself, know what you're comfortable with, and be coachable. That's what I tell everybody. You be coachable, everything comes into fruition. You know, if something doesn't sound right, do challenge that. Do know your body. Know what's good enough for you. And be comfortable with your body because it's what's going to take you where you need to go.
Thank you. And my last one might be a tough one here. In each of you prime in your prime here, you think you can beat your mother and your father in race?
Yeah, hands down. Still to this day, I can still beat.
Absolutely. That's that confidence. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Dominique, I want to say one. I was really kind of giddy as far as to catch up with you here and to meet you here, just knowing the accolades and things that you've done here. I mean, despite, being older or what have you, and then obviously just, small world of immaculate conception here. We kind of know what other people are doing, no matter what the age gap is on some of us here. But even outside of that, just things that you've done, places you've been, you allow a pair of spikes to take you all over the world. And, all over the places to meet all kind of people and everything else here. But even just to hear your story in regards to just, how it helped you, it protected you as well for some of the things that you were going through. We all have different vices and outlets that we've done, but obviously track was one of your vices, which is a hell of a vice and a positive vice as well too, as far as, and you just took that and channeled it and just became spectacular. Outside of the athlete, even the person here, like it just sounds like you persevered a lot. Just things that you've gone through, whether it was, some mental health diagnoses and, you talked about drinking and all that stuff here. So I'm more impressed with the person and the athlete sitting here just listening to you, and I just wanted to say thank you. Just kind of you being officially you. Some crazy way helped me be officially me, or will continue to help me be officially me here. And I, like I said, I really appreciate you just taking time out. And I want to be corny and cheesy when I say this, because of the shirt that you got on. Thank you for being a friend.
I love it. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Golden Girl. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Feel free, again, like I said, I know it's a small world, kind of just met or communicate or what have you. Reach out. I mean, again, like I said, I'm alumni and all this other stuff, but not only that, Black man, and obviously, we're Blacks and we know what this world is, as far as sometimes it's easy, some days it's just hard as hell, no matter if it's us or things that we see or what's going on in this world here. But like I said, my door is always open.
No, yes, I'm so appreciative. Thank you. Moments like this humble me so much. And I always like looking back and meeting other people. And I'm so grateful. Thank you for even thinking of me. Means so much.
Totally. And like I said, I mean, and your name, and again, I'm going down memory lane. When we talk about best people to walk through the immaculate halls, your name don't get brought up. And I think that's a disservice. So, like I said, thank you for everything. But like I said, even more person, you the person here. Like I said, I'm proud of you and everything that you've done, even as a person here. And you be well. And like I said, my door is always open.
Thank you. You too. Have a great evening.
Okay, you too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And like I just said, even the athlete stuff, all the athletic stuff, that stuff is cool. And I think that's kind of what get people connected. But when you get to hear people's stories, even more of a connection, just more of appreciation for who they are. Dominique's no exception here. I thank her just for her honesty and just, being straightforward with things here. Not just how it goes. And like I said, with all that being said, I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.